we were in Garland, Texas. From what I understand, particularly you folks at Rare, you are exposing Epic City, an insane development headed up by a jihadi. Hey, Texas, wake up. We got attacked because we were drawing pictures. I wasn't even drawing them, the artists were, of the Prophet Mohammed. What do you think's going to happen when you have a city dedicated to the Sharia right outside of Dallas? Wake up, Texas.
This is Vlad with RareFoundation.com, and we have the privilege of being here with one of the most long-standing activists and effective activists against the Islamification of the United States. That'd be Tom Trento. Tom, you were very deeply connected to an event that took place 10 years ago in Texas, and the 10th anniversary is actually May 3rd. It's coming up like in a few days. And I'm wondering if, I'd like you to, if you would, explain that event, what happened, its relationship to freedom of speech in the United States, actually technically in the world overall, but certainly as it applies to the United States, and especially and its meaning to Texas, and what we need to see happen. Now that 10 years has gone by, what is it that we don't know? What needs to happen?
10 years, Vlad. Unbelievable 10 years like that. But they're critical years for sure. May 3rd, 2015, the United West, my organization, it took a team of four others, five of us in total, to Garland, Texas, the Curtis Culwell Convention Center, to live stream Pamela Geller's event to draw the Prophet. And the context for this isn't that we said, hey, let's go to Texas and agitate Muslims. That has nothing to do with it. On January 7th, 2015, Charlie Hebdo, the satirical magazine in Paris, was attacked by Muslim jihadis, killed 12 people, wounded 11. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, the 28th or so of January, a crazy jihadi group rented Curtis Culwell Convention Center and had an event to honor the Prophet. Within 3 weeks of Allahu Akbars killing people in Paris, Allahu Akbars in Texas, Pamela Geller said, that's enough. We're going to protest this event. So we sent two of our guys there with Pamela. There were 2,000 people protesting the event, a couple of hundred Muslims countering it. And Pamela had the brilliant idea. If these people, jihadis, can rent that facility, a public facility in Garland, Texas, right outside of Dallas, so could she. She rented it. She put a free speech event on for May 3rd, 2015. I brought our crew there, and the rest is history.
Right, it is history, but it's probably astonishing how many people know nothing about it. So maybe if we could just take a minute or two and describe what actually took place at that event.
All right, what took place, the end of what happened was we, about 300 people, moved around to different locations because we had come under the first Islamic State attack ever on U.S. soil. How did we get to that on May 3rd, 2015? The day started with us going into the convention center, our team of 5 people, to set up to live stream. At the same time, actually 12 hours earlier, 2 jihadis, Simpson and Sophie, that's all you got to know, Simpson and Sophie, long-term jihadis, the FBI knew about both of them. They headed from a mosque in Phoenix, came to Texas, and they had body armor on. They had 3 assault rifles, 3 handguns, 1,500 rounds of material. And those 2 were in one car, and behind them was an FBI agent, undercover FBI agent. And the court record, because there was an initial lawsuit on this, and that's part of what we need to do, Vlad. We need to get the FBI to release the actual file for Garland from 2015. And we have a new FBI now, so we need them to release this to understand this completely. But the FBI agent undercover, was in cahoots with these guys, which they do, that's fine. But as they're traveling, he's behind them, and he had told them a bit earlier, let's go tear Texas up. And there's an obligation on a confidential informant, an agent, to stop an attack. He was instigating the attack. The attack initiated, and thank God, two Garland police officers, one a school officer with no weapon, and one Stephen, what was his name? Greg Stevens, amazing guy, shot both as they exited the car with their ARs, put them down, and then snipers helped kill them. The FBI agent took off. Garland police caught him, and he said, hey, I'm an FBI agent. And that's what we need to find out, what happened there. This was a free speech event with the whole thrust that you're in America. If we want to draw a picture of Mohammad, that's what Americans do. Keep your jihadi Sharia laws for your own country, but you're not going to do that here. And you saw what happened. We got attacked because of that.
So the FBI agent was obviously undercover. Did we know his name?
No, we do not know the name of the FBI agent. It's just in the court records. It's UCI, undercover confidential informant number 1.
Well, if he was undercover and he was sufficiently convincing that these guys accepted him and accepted his instigation, that leads to all kinds of more questions, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and the school officer, the police officer, Bruce Joyner, 2 years later, he filed a lawsuit because he got shot. He got shot in the leg, and he wanted to know what the heck is the FBI doing here. And through the discovery, then we found out in the court record that FBI agent was involved with them for months. And then this thing popped up as a result of the Charlie Hebdo successful attack in Paris. And Sufi and Simpson, who were living together, they said, hey, our brothers over there are doing it. We need to do something here. And then this event comes up in Garland, Texas, and they said, we got to hit that. And both of them had been under FBI investigation before that. In fact, both had been arrested, and Sufi was able to buy a gun a few years earlier. Now, there's a third character, Muslim character in this, who provided housing, food, and bought all their weapons. He got wrapped up too. He's getting out of jail in 2041. Sufi and Simpson are never getting out of hell. They're there for eternity.
So did these jihadis get off any shots before they were killed by the snipers and the police officers on the ground?
Yeah, they started shooting, and it's a miracle because we were there. And after everything was over 2 days later, we went to the scene, and the shootout was about 25 feet. I'll describe it for your audience. There were 3 levels of security: an outside perimeter, an inner, which was manned by a couple of people in a car just to take names. What are you doing here? No, you can't come in. And one car had Bruce Joyner and Greg Stevens, Joyner being a school security officer, unarmed, and Greg Stevens, 30 years on the Garland force, never pulled his 9mm ever in any activity other than training. When the car pulls up, there was an outside agitator in another state who was forming an Islamic State cell. And he told the undercover agent to tell Sufi and Simpson to go there when the audience of 300 is letting out in the parking lot. You'll get the highest body count with your weapons. Go there then. If it wasn't for Pamela Geller falling down on the stage, she actually fell off the stage in our preparation, which delayed, she didn't get hurt, which delayed our presentation. They, the bad guys, the jihadis, timed their attack on everybody exiting based upon when the event was supposed to end, but it was delayed 20 minutes. So they come, the police officer and the school officer get out of the car to go talk to them. Shooting happens 25 feet away. And Greg Stevens pulls his 9mm, hits both of them with body armor on. A miracle. The driver comes around after the passenger got hit. Greg Stevens puts him down, and then there were snipers all over the place. They saw what was happening. They unload on both of them and kill them. And I'm live streaming, Vlad. We're live streaming when this is happening, and then all hell broke loose inside.
Did they release the information about what kind of ordnance was in their car? And can you surmise from what they were carrying what their intentions were?
Yes and yes. About a year later, it was released through, FOIAs, a variety of ways to get this. It was written up, and we have the paperwork somewhere in our office 10 years ago. That and the court documents show 3 AR-15 assault rifles, 3 9mm handguns, body armor, and 1,500 rounds. So what they planned was to use their car as a barricade and just start shooting people and having a jihad martyrdom event. It was a martyrdom event. They knew they were going to fight to the death and go to paradise in a jihad. But the only problem is the miraculous shooting of Greg Stevens putting both of them down. If they would have put Stevens down, now there were snipers all over the place. I don't think, if people were out, if we were all walking to the parking lot, it would have been 10, 20, 30 people shot and killed without question. But that did not happen, praise God.
There was, as I recall, thinking back to it, there was a fair amount of pandemonium going on inside the building, though. Fortunately, people were safe, but they were not unaffected.
Yeah, and it's interesting. When we set up our cameras to live stream, we're interviewing Robert Spencer, Pamela, Geert Wilders was there. We're interviewing regular people.
Bosch Foston, I think at least his was a winning entry.
He won the award. Beautiful drawing of Mohammad in an evil face yelling at somebody saying, "You can't draw me." And the answer is, that's why I draw you. And that was prototypical Western civilization at its best. He's an amazing guy. I sent 2 of our guys, Damon Rosen, one of our activists, and another guy who was a friend, retired Army Ranger, who killed a lot of jihadis in combat in Afghanistan and other places. And I said, go check out the counter protest. Let's see how bad it is. Be careful. So they go out there. A half hour later, they come back and go, there's no counter protests. So what are you talking about? When Pamela was here in January, there were 200 counter protesting Muslims. We figured there'd be 1,000, 0. So after all the analytical evaluation, we concluded, probably the best theory, somebody knew something was happening and told the Muslim community to stay away from there. So I'm live.
Tom Trento here. We have a little situation developing live right now. 6:52 in the afternoon, and commotion just broke out in the facility here. One of our guys just spoke to a police officer. He confirmed shots fired outside. Nobody's in. Now they sealed the building. We're not allowed to go outside the building.
Is it still locked down in here?
We are not leaving. Nobody's going anywhere for a while, so everybody just get comfortable and relax, okay? We may be moving you to a new location here in just a minute.
They're locking it.
Just relax. We may be moving you to a new location here in just a minute.
Anything you can tell us?
I just told you what I know. An officer is down. The suspect is down.
Officer is down?
And we have questionable circumstances.
We're getting reports.
I just heard from one of the...
No, let's not say it here.
Heard it from a cop's mouth.
Hang on one second. Put the mic over here.
I just heard officer hit, suspect hit.
I'm live streaming. You'll see it. And Damon comes up to me and starts whispering a shooting. And I didn't want to put out over the air a shooting if it didn't happen. And we turn away. Then Mark, who's with me now here, he gets confirmation, says there is a shooting. And then the SWAT team comes in. Hey, everybody! They start yelling to all of us. Now, and we have 15-year-old kids. We have 75-year-old ladies. Everyone was there for a red, white, and blue American celebration of free speech in Texas, of all places. Free speech center of the world in many, many respects. And everybody, don't move. We're under attack. There's shootings. And people are going, what? What's going on? So one of our guys runs up on the stage. I run up and try to calm everybody down. SWAT takes over, and you'll see it in the video. Everybody, we're moving you out of this. We were in, picture any convention center where you come in the hallway, then you go into the room. We were right there. The SWAT teams were concerned about follow-up attacks, 10 people coming in, bombers coming in. So they moved the 300 of us to the center of the building, which happened to be a basketball court. And guess what happened there?
What happened there?
Now, I want your viewers and listeners to get a sense of the fear. We all had a lot of fear because we didn't know what was going on, but we had anticipation. And when you're in that kind of situation, there's a unity enveloped in aggravation and anxiety. So
I think we call it panic.
Yeah, a panic. It was controlled panic. So everybody sat down, and I just yelled out, any ministers here, we need to pray. And a man and a lady stood up, and they led us in prayer. Everybody just bowed their head, the cops, everybody. And sirens going, all this noise. And then somebody pulls out of their pocketbook an American flag, 3 feet by 5 feet, holds it up. I'm getting goosebumps right now. And everybody just starts singing, God Bless America and the Star Spangled Banner. And part of that is actually, we taped it, and it was a very unique moment of defending free speech and recognizing that this stuff is for real and you defend it for your lives. And we got greater appreciation, and we have a lot of appreciation for the first responders and our military, but a greater appreciation for the people who go out there every day and put their lives on the line. We weren't doing that. We were inside a building having a convention.
And nobody on the freedom side, none of the attendees were hurt. That is incredible. That's a miracle. That is wonderful. So
nobody was hurt. And then immediately, maybe about 20 minutes later, the SWAT team starts yelling out, all right, everybody, we got to move. We got to move. We can't stay here. It's too dangerous. Everybody's going, oh God, what do we do now? They got buses. They loaded us 48 people at a time in buses. So 250, 300 people. And we got on a bus, and we continue live streaming from there. We switched to, I think, Facebook. And we wound up at a fire station 30 or 40 miles away. They were afraid there was going to be secondary attacks. And there the FBI came, and we were there for probably 5 hours. And they had to interview all of us, make sure we weren't bad guys. They had to get statements from us, all of this, and get off social media. You can call your relatives to tell them you're okay, because by now it was international news. And we did that. We stayed off of social media. And then about 5 hours, they transport us to a hotel far away. And they put us in that hotel for the night.
Fantastic. That's just an incredible story. So let's just say, here we are. Donald Trump has miraculously made it back into the White House. He has, in theory, appointed a person to the head of the FBI whose stated intention is to bring back transparency and the FBI as an agency which is an enforcement investigation for rule of law. What's your message? Is it Kash Patel?
Yeah, Kash Patel, Bruce Joyner in 2017, the school officer, unarmed, who got shot, filed a lawsuit in 2017 to find out what the hell was the FBI doing. The FBI is not supposed to instigate an attack, and that seems to be the situation. And Kash Patel needs to read Bruce Joyner's, as the plaintiff, his complaint against the FBI and DOJ. And 19 pages, easy read. Joyner lays out the evidence. UCI number one, telling them, let's tear Texas up. And Bruce wanted to know what was going on. We want to know, America wants to know if the FBI dropped the ball. And Bruce Joyner's argument in this complaint is that undercover agents at a certain point are obligated to stop the attack, not continue the attack, as it seems that this FBI agent did. And the whole case, Vlad, was thrown out eventually on sovereign immunity. You can't sue the government. Kash Patel needs to take the sovereign immunity off of that, take a look at it, and correct any problems that may still exist because of Garland in 2015.
Do you think it's reasonable to demand we find out who that FBI agent was and what happened to him subsequent to this event?
I had not a dream of going into the FBI. I actually did a degree in law enforcement to go into the FBI. So it's an agency that's very dear to my heart. I would not want his name exposed because there's a lot of crazy people out there. But I would want his testimony, his actions, and him to be charged if necessary for violating if he hasn't already been thrown out of the FBI. So, but I think at this point it's remedial. What did he do? What did he do wrong? Let's look to the future so that doesn't happen. And but I would not be for exposing the guy's name at this point. That would, as much as, I almost got killed because of his actions. Maybe I'm a little soft-hearted on that.
Tom Trento, I can't thank you enough for coming and doing this. Very important moment, very important opportunity. I just hope all the right people hear this. And thank you again so much for taking some of your valuable time with Rare Foundation.
Glad to be here. I do have one point, if I can make it.
Please do.
We were in Garland, Texas. From what I understand, particularly you folks at Rare, you are exposing Epic City, an insane development headed up by a jihadi. Hey, Texas, wake up. We got attacked because we were drawing pictures. I wasn't even drawing them. The artists were, of the Prophet Mohammad. What do you think's going to happen when you have a city dedicated to the Sharia right outside of Dallas? Wake up, Texas.